Okay, hello. I hope that you can see the presentation. Good morning for some of you and good afternoon for the rest. And just to continue my presentation, joining what have just said by Kelly, our practice with respect to classification is as a European country and also let's say member of the European Union and of course a participant in the meetings of the European Union Intellectual Property Office. Our practice with respect to classification is very similar or practically the same as Kelly has mentioned before. So my presentation is mainly focused on search databases. What I'd like to add just is from the perspective of practice and management of an office, is that it is very important, product indication and Locarno classification is very important, as we will see, for search purpose. And it is important to educate our examiners and also to educate people in order to use product indication that at least match in the Locarno classification, in the part of the Locarno classification related to product indication, or also very useful in terms of this could match with the DesignClass harmonized database, for which we have more terms or more product indications as in Locarno database. Locarno database has around 5,000, if my memory is correct, of product indications, and the harmonized database is around 14,000 product indications, much more complete. And I think that it is for the purpose of very efficient searches, it is very useful that we could educate our examiners and also our users in order to use as much as possible a product indication that fits in Locarno classification or in the harmonized database. So, to start with my presentation about search databases, well, why do we need design search and good search databases? Well, there are different purposes to do that. First of all, to check whether a design is new and original, or in the case of the European law, if it has individual character. So this is very important in terms of those offices which perform examination or which perform searches for their designs applications. Also to check whether the term of protection of a design is over or not, just to see if it is free to operate with the design. To define a designer's protection strategy, of course, to know what is valuable or what is not, or how our design should be modified in order not to infringe other designs. To prepare legal action against anyone using an identical or similar design by the owner of a registered design. And finally, very useful also to monitor existing competing design products, what our competitors are doing, what our competitors are designing, and what our competitors are protecting. But today we are going to focus especially in the first, that is the most interesting for most of our offices, just to check in an examination process whether a design is new and original. So I have collected all relevant databases with respect to designs. Sorry, I apologize because some of the titles are in Spanish. I very much apologize, but I had some problems to change the configuration of my IP address in order to get the information in English. Finally, I was not succeeded, but I think that you can. It is very easy to understand the meaning of some of the slides. So I have divided the classification database in several groups. The first one that we are going to see in more detail are the main database for an effective design search or design patents in the case of the USPTO and probably other countries in the world. The main databases are DesignView, of course. I would say that this is the most relevant today database. Also the WIPO Global Design Database. And finally, for design or patent design searching at the USPTO, is extremely useful, the Google Patents database, that apart from patents as such, let's say utility patents, you can perform searches also on design patents at the USPTO. Useful databases for improving the quality of searches are DesignClass, of course, very useful to determine which is the product indication, the most probable product indication, the most probable Locarno classification, and also that you can link to examples to see whether our design fits in certain Locarno classification or in other Locarno classification. And of course, there's the Locarno classification that has been published by WIPO. That, by the way, very soon will come the 13th Locarno classification in force as from 1st of January 2021. Of course, you should take into account also international, regional, or national databases for an effective design or design patents again. It's very important, the international registration database for those countries part of the Hague Agreement. I'm not aware that any ASEAN country is part of the Hague Agreement, but I know that many of you have plans to be included in the Hague Agreement, probably in the Geneva Act of the Hague Agreement. And the database, the WIPO database, is very interesting to search in all this international registration. Of course, you have your own version of DesignView for performing searches in the ASEAN designs. Very complete, very comprehensive, with a lot of designs from your countries. It's very, very useful to search in this database. And finally, useful databases for improving the quality of the searches in the case of 2D designs, two-dimensional designs. Because of course, there are some possible novelty problems with other publications or with the state of the art that has been published before, not only as designs, but also it's possible that could be published as a trademark. For instance, in the case of ornamentation or any other 2D design. In this case, there are very useful databases in the field of trademarks. For instance, we have the Global Brand Database. In the Global Brand Database, you can perform searches using the graphic, so you could introduce the 2D graphical designs, and you can perform searches in many countries let's say, to have a look to the state of the art on trademarks. You have also Trademark View, so the equivalent of DesignView that is also incorporating little by little the capability of doing searches, graphical searches. And finally, the eSearch Plus that provides you with the possibility to search in designs and trademarks, but just for community designs and European Union trademarks. Also very useful if you have to perform a comprehensive search, and especially if you have two-dimensional designs. Finally, other useful databases for a comprehensive search are Google Images, in case you have to search a single image and you have to put the image there, the design, to see whether you can find some state-of-the-art in the net. There are some privacy concerns, of course, when performing searches with Google Images, but there is also the possibility to provide some private searches using more or less the same search engine. Also, of course, you can find designs in patents. So a good knowledge of the international patent classification and database as a SPASnet could be very useful also for performing searches. And I know that in small offices, they use also these capabilities like AliExpress search by image of photo scan of Google, that you just take a picture and it could provide you with very interesting information about which products are available. So going directly to DesignView, this is the new look and feel of DesignView. You have an impressive number of designs to be searched, more than 16 million designs and models of the European Union and many other countries. Almost all countries in the world are available today in DesignView. You have the possibility of a smart search just by product indication, as you can see. And scrolling down the first page, you can search, well, you can have, this is the Spanish title for last searches. So according to the IP from where you have performed the search, you can obtain the last searches from this IP. Also, you have the possibility to consult the news, a newsletter, let's say, with news from the DesignView. My recommendation is that you never use the smart search because it could give you some misleading results. And as professionals of search professionals, please go directly to advanced options. In the advanced options, you can find a lot of possibilities of search, not only by product indication, but also by territories where certain design is valid, for the offices who has performed or who has granted the design, verbal elements in case you are using certain verbal elements in the design, application number, registration number, and also dates. So we perform a search, for instance, to see what was granted or what was published by all offices in the territory of Spain in the from 1st of January of 2020 to the 31st of January of 2020. You can obtain that. As you can see, these are the searches. As we have searched what is valid in the Spanish territory, we have obtained what has been published by 3 offices: the Spanish Patent Office, the European Union Intellectual Property Office, and also those international registration that has been published by WIPO from the 1st of January 2020 to the 31st of January 2020. You can filter out what you have obtained very easily. Just you can delete filters or add filters if you want, just to obtain the most valuable and the most frequent or the type of search or type of results you prefer. And you have the possibilities to certain types of visualization. So you can add columns, you can add new columns here, you can delete columns, or you can even have a look at the designs as is. You have, this is very much easier to search for the designs. As you can see, there is a number in front or in the upper side of the designs. That means the number of views related to this design. So if we click on this design, you can see very easily an enlarged visualization of the design, but also you can very easily move from one view to the other. So what is also very interesting is that you can click on each design and you have the possibility to compare the design you have selected one by one. To do that, it's better to initiate session to create a registered user, and then you can really enlarge the possibility you have to use DesignView very, very broadly. Another important database, of course, is the Asean DesignView that has similar performance and similar possibilities as I have told for DesignView. Also, the global design database maintained by WIPO is very interesting. It have almost the same search capabilities as DesignView, but it's a little bit more complete for certain countries. There are some countries missing here that are in DesignView and the other way around. So it's very useful to combine databases, to combine the searches in the global design database as in DesignView. One thing I mentioned is that the Google Patents have the possibility, if you go to the advanced search of Google Patents and you click on type, you can have a look to the designs. In this example, I have selected Apple as an assignee or applicant and the type designs. You can obtain all design patents from Apple. You can click on the date possibility. You can do a lot of things, and you have this possibility of visualization. You can go directly in the right side of your screen. You can have a look to the design. You can move from one view to the other very easily. Using the same design, I have used the eSearch Plus as an example. I have dragged directly the design, drag one image to search for trademarks, and up for 7 designs, I have dragged this image and I have obtained these. So I have, this is the image of the preparation of the search, and I have obtained all these. Of course, as you may imagine, probably is not optimal, but you can have a look about that the quality of the search is quite good. Probably it should be improved in the future because search image 3-dimensional is complex. And I think that I have finished my presentation. Sorry, because I am a little bit, a couple of minutes beyond time, but I hope that this is a very complete overview of the search.